I've just finished editing today's video and I'm not going to lie, it is a bit of a long-winded one, but it did take a lot of work to fix this Maglite. So I do hope you can stick around until the end of the video. If you're interested in detailing, maintaining and keeping your car looking its best, don't forget to click subscribe and the bell to be notified when I upload new videos. And if you found this video useful, please give it a thumbs up. So a couple of days ago I went out to check the Ferrari over and I had a thought that I'd left batteries in the Maglite that's in the glove box. The Ferrari 430 and 360 both come with Maglites in the glove box, and the problem is that when you leave batteries in a Maglite they tend to leak. And lo and behold, I went out to it. This is the said Maglite, undid it and nothing. So thought better check it over. Took the battery cap off. One of them seized in the bottom, but it did come out when I knocked it on a surface. But there's a battery at the top and that is seized in there and it's all corroded and leaked and all nasty. I'd had a thought and I thought I've got a spare one that looks like that one, which is this. Exactly the same, but it's not got Ferrari on it and it's not got the smooth body. The only thing is you can't really buy these anymore. They've been discontinued and so it's really hard to get a hold of. So we are going to have to fix it. What we're going to do is take it apart, see if I can get the frozen battery out of the top. If I can, then that's good, and then we can just clean the corrosion up. If it's really badly damaged, what we can always do is use this one and sacrifice it for some of the parts if the battery contacts are really bad. So I'm going to strip this down first, see if we can clean it up, and if not, we'll make one good one out of the two. So the first step we're going to do is take off the cover from the bottom where you put the batteries in. Now there's no corrosion on there, so that's a good sign, but we can't get these batteries out. They won't come out on their own accord. So if, for example, I take the other one, undo that, the batteries just fall straight out. So that's what should happen, but that's not what is happening. So we're going to have to try and free these out. The bottom one normally comes out easy-ish because you can knock it out, but the top one is the one that generally tends to freeze. So the best thing you can do is give this a tap on a hard, firm surface, but something not too hard. So like this mat is perfect for the job, just because it's soft enough to take the impact, because you've only got a thin piece of metal there, so you don't want to be damaging the end. If not, maybe some MDF or something like that might be a good option, but don't go tapping it on anything too hard. So, and there we go. So that's freed that battery out and not damaged the end. And there we go, we can see we've got corrosion on that there battery, and we've got another one inside, and you can just about probably make out that there's some fur in there. Now what we need to do is remove the top. So we're just going to unscrew the bulb assembly and the lens. So we'll put that somewhere safe out of the way. And now we need to remove the bulb. Just pull it out. Now the bulb doesn't have a positive and negative, so don't worry about it. It will go back in either way round. On the top of here it does say do not remove, but we're not going to follow the instructions today. Now to remove this cap, you can either get your fingers down the side and pull it off. If that's a little bit difficult, you can use a small flat bladed screwdriver. Otherwise, I do recommend that you get yourself something like these, which is a set of opening tools for mobile phones and things like that. You can get them from Amazon, and I think this set was about £4, so that's perfect. What you'll get in there is like these tools, and they will then fit underneath and they'll pop it out, and what you've got to do is work it a side at a time just to make sure that it comes out levelly, because there's two pegs in here, and there we go. You can just pull that out now. So like I say, you've got two pegs there and they locate into two holes in here. So you've got a hole there. Let's bring you closer. You've got a hole there and a hole there, and that's where those two pegs locate afterwards. So that's why you want to pull it out straight, and just use these tools because they won't damage the plastic then. Right, now we've removed that, what we've got on the remaining part of the Maglite is we've got the little battery contact there, and that's what makes it switch on and off. So when the light's working, when you screw the cap in, it pushes this down and it stops it making a contact, and that's what makes it light up and not. Now this is still moving, so that's not seized, but the battery's underneath this cap, and that's what we need to now push down on to try and get the frozen battery out. So we need to find something that's going to fit on there, that's then going to enable us to push out this battery that's stuck in there. Another thing you can also possibly try is getting something like a contact cleaner and spraying that down there. Let that soak in and see if that will free the battery out any. Okay, so what I've found that fits is this. It's a 8mm Allen key socket, and it just about fits onto the plastic on the top there. Now if you can push this out, then you're in luck, but I don't think this one's going to push. So what we're going to have to do is give it a gentle tap and just slowly tap and work it out. So we're going to use that, and then we're going to also use a rubber mallet just to ensure that we don't do any damage. And we want to put this on a nice soft surface. Now I don't know whether I'm going to do it on this mat or just get a little piece of MDF and pop it on there. It's probably going to be a better idea, just so I don't mark the mat and damage it. Okay, so we've got a small piece of MDF there, and then what we're going to have to do is just carefully just going to try and knock this down. While we're knocking it down also, we want to be careful of the little pin at the top that is the battery contact, and as soon as we can remove that, that's what we're going to want to do. And what you can see here is that it is starting to slowly move down inside there, so we are getting somewhere. I've also sprayed some PTFE lubricant in there just to try and help it on its way a little bit, but it's just a case of working slowly, and like we can see, it's starting to go now, and I can almost get that pin out. Just going to take a couple more goes, and then we should be able to get that out, which is one less thing to worry about. Okay, that's gone down enough now to the point where we should be able to remove the little tang. So we just want to take that out and keep it somewhere safe, because we don't want that to get damaged. Okay, so I've now switched over to this, which fits into there perfectly, so it's not going to do any damage, and this is pretty much the technique that I've been doing. The battery's really close to the end now, we can see it, so we've just got a soft block of wood, and just gentle little taps, and there we go. There we have the offending battery, and also, let me put this down, the top section has got no damage on it, so that's perfect. What we're going to do now is we're going to need to clean all of this up, because you can see the area of corrosion in the top there. We're just going to need to clean all of that out, and for that we're going to use some white vinegar, which will hopefully neutralize the acid, and we'll just scrub it with a toothbrush. Now we're going to clean the tube out, and we're going to try and get some of that corrosion out of there. Going to use white vinegar, poured some in a tub. Ideally I'd have liked to use a toothbrush for this, but it won't fit into the tube. So it's just going to be a case of cleaning this out, and then once the corrosion starts to shift, you can see it there, we're going to use a bottle brush down the neck to try and clean it out. The other thing you could try and do is sealing off the end and then filling it full of the vinegar. That might be worth a try. For now, I'm just going to see how much of this we can get off using this method. It should start to flake off. There we go. So you can see it is coming out. So it's been a couple of days since I started work on the Maglite, and I've managed to clean it up by soaking the insides with vinegar. There's still a little bit of where the corrosion's lifted in there, but it's all pretty much gone now. What I did was tested that these batteries would fit, because they're a bit thinner and they do tend to easily fit in there. But when I tested the Eneloop batteries, which are quite thick, and they wouldn't go in. So what I had to do was, using some 800 grit wet and dry paper, I wrapped it round a pencil and just lightly sanded the inside of the battery section. So now these fit nice and easily without a problem at all. So the next thing's left is to reassemble the whole thing. So I've protected it just with a bit of plastic wrap there, just to make sure it doesn't get scratched. But first thing we're going to do is we need to put that little battery contact here back into this black plastic section. So I'm just going to pop that back into there. There we go. And just make sure that that sits flush. And that's all you need to do there. You can use a pair of tweezers or something like that. If you just hold the black plastic, it tends to help to start it on its trail inside the Maglite. And then when you let go, if you just get your battery, pop that in, and then pop the second one in, and what that will do is push the little black thing up into the end. So then we'll put the bottom plug on, and that's holding that in place. Now we take the do not remove cap. Remember, we want these little pegs to line up with those two holes there. Pop that on. Take the bulb. Remember, it's not got a positive or a negative, so we'll just push that until it clicks. Now I'm going to take the cap, pop that back on, remove that, and now we have a fully working Maglite again. We've also got that one too, so nice and straightforward. It's quite an easy fix, it's just time consuming and fiddly. So as long as you've got some basic tools and some basic bits and bobs to knock the batteries out, you could always use a wooden dowel or something like that to knock that out with, and anything really that just fits on the top of the black plastic contact piece. If you've got something that fits on there, then it's pretty much going to knock the battery downwards. If you've got something that's a rare Maglite like this Ferrari one, it's always best to have another one that you can use for spares anyway, so that's not a bad idea to do just in case you do damage anything. But fortunately managed to fix this one with no major issues. I do hope you found the information useful and all the tips that are in it. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up, click subscribe and the bell to be notified when I upload new videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.